Round 9 of Regular Ragnarok has officially concluded as one of the most fastest and shortest fights of the series, with Apollo, the sun god, versus the king of Spartan, Leonidas, as they were able to battle out against each other, as Apollo was the clear cut winner. But throughout this round, we were able to see how similar these characters are. Because when we look at chapter 82 with understanding about Apollo, seeing that he is the god of philosophy, the god of poetry, the god of medicine, the god of the bow, the god of the music, and the god of the sun, one of his biggest slogan that he taught everyone is to know thyself, which everyone has misinterpreted it, because the true meaning of know thyself is improving yourself, surpassing your limits, becoming better and better. When you know yourself, then you are able to approve on the things that you want to approve. Because we found out that Apollo was a mediocre god and that he wanted to change it. So he worked on himself by doing hard work and exceeding everyone's expectation of him from being a mediocre god to be one of the known top gods, because we see what he's able to accomplish, but based on his resume, and that is based on his slogan by know thyself. And we see how Apollo also has a rebellion part of himself, because he does whatever he wants, and is somewhat similar to what Leonidas did while he was alive. Because when the Apollo fought against Python, he did it on his own free will. He wasn't summoned or told to. He did it on his own, and he fought against this monster. But now when it came down to Leonidas, he represents a person who is a rebel and who goes against faith itself, who also goes by his own rules and not the rules that is set in place by the universe or someone else. So we see how Leonidas actually became a rebel, and he went against the elders' wishes on going to warfare against the Persians with their 30,000 army. And Apollo stated that he doesn't want to go to war, but he has to, because of the fact that this army is advancing and we need to stop them now. Because if we don't stop them, then we're all going to die. But the elders, they were just like, no, we need to worship Apollo. This is a time for peace, and everything else. Would do everything after the festival. And this kind of festival, you can tell that this was probably the event when Apollo actually did ascended to Greece and actually defeated Python, because we see how Python actually made the oracle and the statues and all the other stuff. So that's probably the event of what they're talking about, because Python was just going through the village, destroying them, causing chaos. And then there we see Apollo actually made peace and actually beat this monster. So it's kind of just very interesting. But we see how Leonidas, how he is just like, these people are just at this point is just not following what's the biggest picture, or not seeing what's the biggest picture. And he decided that, I'm going to do my own way. I know this is a huge risk, and the chances of us dying is 100%, but he's going to war. And with that attitude, actually encouraged 300 people to actually go against the government or the elders of Greece, to go on ahead and go to war. And it actually worked, because of the fact that they were able enough to push back the Persians' armies. 300 people were able to push back an army that has 30,000 people. And we see how Leonidas, how he was able to be the most admirable guy, because he was able enough to go on ahead and follow his own path to actually go against a giant challenge that no one else was willing to do, and to go against the authority. Because what Leonidas represents a person who follow his own path, to go on his own way no matter what. And when you look at the story, you can honestly can say that both of these guys actually went against what fate had in store for them, because with Apollo, he could have been a mediocre god. And Leonidas, he could have just listened to the elders and see how his whole country and everyone that he loves be actually wiped out by the Persian army. But both of these guys they went against what faith had in store for them, and they actually went on their own way. And we even see how Leonidas' tunes change when he actually sees how Apollo actually is, because his answer actually has changed in chapter 83. Because in before chapter 83, he was just like, you know what, I want to fight against Apollo. He's such a shitty god. He's such a self-righteous god and all this stuff, to now, like, you know what, it's my time to fight. We don't get to choose how we are born, so how we live or how we die is up to us. I follow my own soul, which was a total different answer a couple of chapters before chapter 83. But when Apollo heard Leonidas' new answer, he actually said that it was beautiful, because he actually liked it, because what Leonidas has been spilling was the fact that this was the embodiment of know thyself. Because what Leonidas stated was that he followed his own path, and that is something that Apollo has been teaching to everyone, to know thyself. If you know thyself, you would improve and you will do things that you want to do. Now, when it came down to round 9 of Record of Ragnarok, this fight was a huge mismatch, because Apollo was straight dominating throughout this whole fight with his quickness, his boxing abilities, and especially too with his arrow ability. And the String of Artemis was such a great ability to use for defense and offense. And you can say that for Leonidas' shield, because we were able to see how his shield was able to do some defense and some offense. But when it came down to the fighter, Apollo, it was just way too much. Because if Leonidas was facing against a different opponent, then maybe the outcome would have been different for Leonidas, and it probably would be in Leonidas' favor. But when it came down to Apollo, Apollo was just way too much for him, because Leonidas attacks based on how his shield is, because his shield was his divine weapon, was more of the defensive ability. And so when it came down to it, Apollo, he has more of an offense and a defensive ability as well. And it's very much outclassed Leonidas, especially too with Apollo's broken ability, how he's able to shoot light at you, which was just really crazy. But we see how Leonidas' battle like experience actually did benefited him, because we saw how he was able to deflect the arrow and was able to hit Apollo with his own attack, which was very interesting and very amazing. But throughout this whole round, we can just see that even though when Apollo was able to finish off Leonidas, it kind of just see like Leonidas, he's very neutral with the sun god, because he even says he's looking at me with that stupid face. And then as he is just pretty much broken and going to pieces, he just smiles because he lived his life as the strongest Spartan. And it was just really incredible. This round of Record of Ragnarok, honestly, I can just really much just say that this was kind of like the lower tier fight, because not just only that the fact that it was just quickness, I feel like they should have did so much more, and there was so much missed opportunity. You could have had Leonidas with the spear, and I think the fight would have been much interesting. But so far, how everything goes with these two characters, they were pretty much okay. They made Apollo be very likable and very interesting compared to Leonidas. But let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel about this whole round of round 9. Were you guys disappointed? Did you guys like it? Do you guys think it was okay? What tier would you guys put it on? Let me know down in the comment section. And if you guys do like the video, please hit the like, subscribe button. And remember, always be decent. It's the Monotone Man. And hope you guys have a wonderful day and be safe out here. Peace.